Let's talk about some Republicans who watched the DNC this week and recognized it was not a particularly good DNC for the GOP. I have so many tweets I'm going to be showing you here, and many Republicans realizing, wait a second, we had this ridiculous convention last week in Cleveland. We had the plagiarism scandal. We had Ted Cruz coming out and saying everything short of don't vote for Donald Trump. You had Trump giving this dark apocalyptic vision of America and saying, I will fix everything myself personally, which, as Hillary Clinton pointed out last night, is ridiculous. And a number of conservatives recognize this. We'll start with conservative writer Ron Fournier, who said, well done, Donald Trump. You made Democrats a party of sunny patriotism and values. You sure Bill Clinton didn't ask you to run? National Review editor Jonah Goldberg. No, we don't have that one. We have John Podhoretz, former Ronald Reagan speechwriter, saying, take about 5 paragraphs out of that Obama speech, and it could have been a Reagan speech. Trust me, I know. Next, we have Fox News host Greg Gutfeld. If Republicans had championed their principles with specifics rather than embrace autocracy, they wouldn't have yielded this turf to Democrats. We then heard from conservative blogger Erick Erickson saying, for Republicans who are not social conservatives, I have to imagine last night and tonight at the DNC are having an impact on them. And then conservative Iowa radio host Steve Deace saying, so most of conservative media and the GOP spent the week rooting for Russia, and now the Democrats get to rally around the flag. Dreadful. We also heard from Rich Galen, former press secretary for Dick Cheney, none other than the dark overlord, saying, how can it be that I am standing at my kitchen counter sobbing because of the messages being driven at the DNC? Where has the GOP gone? And lastly, Matt Mackowiak, a conservative operations veteran, saying this Democratic convention has been an unmitigated disaster for the GOP. Very well produced, unifying, patriotic, bravo. We didn't exactly have Democrats talking about how that they had been really swayed by the RNC last week, did we, Lewis?
Not at all. No, it was, I wouldn't call it a production disaster. I mean, it's not like you were watching this thing and it just looked like it was thrown together in 5 minutes. But the overall feeling was completely different, yes.
And we'll see how that translates to the polls. Next week, we will start to get post-convention polling where we will be able to see, okay, now that Trump has had his say and now that Hillary Clinton has had her say, what is the impact on the polls? And soon we'll start putting together those electoral maps and seeing what are the scenarios as they shape up, as we are already getting towards the end of summer. Amazingly, we are getting towards the end of summer and very, very close to this election. We have a great show for you today. We are going to be taking calls. We are going to be answering your questions. And of course, you can sign up for membership and support this type of show. This is really important as we get closer and closer to the election. Vote with your dollars and support independent media at davidpakman.com/membership. I've talked about how people of all ages, but particularly millennials, are owning cars less and participating more in the sharing economy. And one of the more popular options is Zipcar, which gets you a car when you want it, when you need it. They offer all sorts of cars, SUVs, hybrids, whatever you need. It includes insurance and it includes gas. You just pay for the time that you actually use the car. And you can reserve the car online, from your smartphone, over the phone, then you unlock it with your Zip card. Each car share member reduces their personal CO2 emissions by between 1,100 and 1,600 pounds per year. For our audience, Zipcar is offering $25 of free driving credit if you sign up at joinzipcar.com/David. Support our show, reduce your carbon emissions and your spending on cars. Sign up at joinzipcar.com/David.